Jimmy Buffett died.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett, the king of the parrot heads.
The king of the parrot heads, king of the cheeseburgers and the marks.
Yeah.
This is going to come out in 9 weeks. And
everyone will have forgotten.
Be the oldest news in the world.
Yeah.
But, no, I was going to tell you my uncle knew Jimmy Buffett. My stepmom's brother. And it sounds like a made-up story, but I swear to you it's not. But he was a wild and crazy man.
Sure.
He died.
Like Jimmy Buffett.
Like Jimmy
himself.
Buffett. Crazy Uncle Jim. Funniest guy in the world.
His name was also Jim.
He's also Jim.
Wow.
And he died of alcoholism.
Naturally, sure.
Yeah, naturally. About 10-ish years ago. Great guy, friend of the show. All right, rest in peace. But back in the 1980s, I think, or maybe somewhere in there, he lived in Florida and knew Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
Insofar as he sold Jimmy Buffett cocaine.
Yeah.
And my Uncle Jim was like this guy. He was like on the boats and shit from like Colombia to Florida. Had like a crazy life selling cocaine in Florida for like 10 years.
Well, that's where they say the best cocaine comes from, Colombia.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Especially at that time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Mr. Buffett he went on tour with him as his plug. And so he went on a U.S. tour with Jimmy Buffett at one point in time.
Wow.
And legend has it that they gave him his own trailer and he packed it with cocaine.
bricks
and
bricks of cocaine.
Pushed it into every city on the tour. Unbeknownst to Mr. Buffett.
Oh, wow.
Now, where fact meets fiction in this story is anyone's guess.
Sure.
But
that's pretty wild. That's
pretty
cool.
wild. But I've asked multiple family members and they all go, oh, no. He knew Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, it is wildly believable that a guy in Florida who sells cocaine would be friends with Jimmy Buffett.
I think so, too. I mean, how many guys in Florida sell cocaine?
I can't think of that. I can't imagine it's that many.
Well, you take the population of Florida and you minus about 300 people. And you have your number.
But R.I.P. Jimmy Buffett.
R.I.P.
You know what they say? It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's 5 o'clock. It is 5 o'clock somewhere. I wonder where it was 5 o'clock when he died.
Wow.
Now, that would be... my phone's doing that.
And I only wish we had a producer. Look that up.
I'll look that up.
It would be quite interesting.
Did he die? Do you know when he died? Did it say?
I think last night sometime. 76 years old.
Last night sometime. If you had to ballpark it. Oh. I'm pretty good at the world clock.
Well, I would have to factor in whether or not he was on tour and where that was.
Let's say that he died peacefully in Florida. If you had to give me a time, when about, based on the vibe of the article, do you think it happened? Maybe like 2
a.m. or p.m.?
I thought it was last night.
I think it was overnight. I think he was died in his sleep.
Right.
So probably
when you
76, you probably 5 p.m.
Now, when you die, when you die in your sleep, do you think you have a full night's sleep and then die? Or do you think basically right when you fall asleep, you're gone? It's like you fall asleep and therefore die. Or do you sleep for a little bit and then die a few hours in? I don't know. I'd love to talk to a doctor about that.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what, after thinking about that, I'll never sleep another day in my life. But
you never know when you're going to go.
I would say, I think you probably get a good couple hours of deep REM.
Oh, that'd be nice. And then you
die, yeah.
Okay, so let's
stop breathing.
So we put it, and Jimmy at this stage probably going to bed by like 9:45.
Probably, yeah.
So let's say he died around midnight.
Yeah, midnight.
Midnight Florida time, which is New York time. So
I'll take your word for it.
To be 5 p.m., I think you'd have to be on the opposite side of the world. Would be like 12 hours. This is loose stuff here.
Sure.
Would be 12 p.m. in like Japan. So then if you go 5 more hours, gosh, that might just be in the middle of the Pacific Ocean to be 5 p.m. Or it could have maybe been in like far eastern part of like Sydney, Australia, maybe.
Oh.
So maybe somewhere in there.
Well, you can get a good beverage in Sydney, Australia.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
It was 5 p.m. in Hawaii when he died.
Wow, that's kind of the perfect send-off.
I'm probably so wildly inaccurate.
Well, we don't need to know, and the people don't need to know. That's just how it is, and
that's true.
That's what we're gonna say.
That's what I'm choosing to believe.
Yeah, that's what I believe, and we can choose our own facts. So
that's true. In this new reality, in this echo chamber,
it's kind of what you got. That who gives a fuck? It's what we say it is.
Cheers to that big guy.
He died at 5 o'clock Hawaii time.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
They're doing a fucking nice luau
to the parrot. Some people say there's a woman to blame, but I don't.
Yeah,
I think it was his fault that he died.
Stabbed in the neck by his wife.
You think I always assume he was a single man. He lived his life like a single man. He was
bachelor.
Yeah. Perpetual bachelor. Well, anyway, here's a story about two single men.
Oh my God.
I assume.
I know a little bit about this, but
sure.
I have not had an update in some time.
Well, I'll start us off. This is from the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, okay.
Headline reads, chess cheating scandal ends with a handshake.
Wowee.
Nearly a year after an explosive cheating scandal detonated in the chess world, the rival factions have reached an awkward detente that figures to end the saga.
Is that right?
Yes. Chess.com, the popular platform that hosts games and events for both everyday pawn pushers and elite players, said it would
The guy who wrote that line just cracked his knuckles right after he typed that.
Actually, funny you should mention that. It's actually written by two people.
Oh, yeah, we got to get multiple people on the job.
So, yeah, he probably came up with pawn pushers. The first guy, Andrew Beaton, probably came up with that.
And then the other guy goes, leave that in. Leave that in.
Oh, that's great.
That's great. All right.
He goes, so Chess.com said it would reinstate the account of Hans Moke Niemann.
Hans Niemann. The dreaded
Hans Niemann, the young American grandmaster that the website said was likely a serial cheater.
And now, if you're a serial killer.
Yeah, if you're a serial cheater, I don't think he should be called a grandmaster.
I don't think so either, but I think the idea is that he cheated his way into that status, right?
Mm-hmm. I suppose so. He had fair play infractions in over 100 online games.
That's not telling at all.
Niemann's $100 million defamation lawsuit against Chess.com and other prominent figures in the game was dismissed with prejudice by a judge in the Eastern District of Missouri in June. Now, I don't know what dismissed with prejudice means.
Wait, dismissed meaning the accusations against him were dismissed?
It's all done. It's dropped.
It's all dropped. He's a free man.
He's a free man. He can rejoin chess.com.
Dismissed with prejudice.
Yeah.
That sounds like it was bad.
Yeah, I wish I was a legal expert to explain what that is.
Once we have a producer, a lawyer, and a global clock manager.
Maybe that's what we should put here. A bunch of clocks.
Tokyo, Berlin, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. Good generic wall piece.
Yeah. Write that down.
I'm gonna write it down. Tell me more about this. So yeah, I'm familiar with this story because...
Why don't you explain it a little bit? Because the rest kind of explains what happened.
Right.
We don't need to read it.
What's his name? Who's the other guy? The famous...
Magnus Carlsen.
Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah.
Magnus Carlsen's a guy who hadn't lost a goddamn tournament in 10 years.
Yeah.
Best player in the world.
He's the Jimmy Buffett of chess.
The Jimmy Buffett of chess.
Yeah.
Hans Niemann comes along. He's like a 19-year-old kid from California who sat in his fucking mom's basement and played chess, cheated at chess.com.
Yeah. And this is a picture of him.
Yeah. So he comes along and he starts whooping ass and everything, and he plays Magnus Carlsen and beats him. And Magnus Carlsen basically all but accuses him of cheating, over the table cheating in real-time chess. A lot of people are asking, okay, well, this guy cheated chess.com by like running algorithms or whatever to see the next best move. How does one cheat in real life at chess?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that Hans Niemann had fallen in with this almost like a coach or whatever, like a old-timey Russian chess person who was like his trainer or whatever.
Yeah.
And that guy was famously quoted as saying, if I only had a small device in my shoe to give me just a couple signals, I would be the greatest chess player in the world.
Yeah.
And no one could ever stop me.
Right.
And so Magnus Carlsen, my assumption is that he thought that Hans was using some kind of device in his shoe. People speculated he had a device in his shoe or somewhere else in his body, perhaps up his rectum.
Yes, in his ass.
In his asshole.
A vibrating butt plug was a theory floating around on the internet.
Exactly. I made a whole fake trailer about it called The King's Gambit. Look it up on YouTube. And but yeah, based on the look of Hans Niemann, my assumption would be that it's very far up his ass.
Yeah, and he loves it.
And so does it? Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't even really like chess. He just loves
the vibrations.
Yeah.
He's picking up good vibrations. Giving him excitations. Now, does it say why they dropped all the charges? I mean, they couldn't prove anything. So
they couldn't prove anything. But here's a quote from Hans Moke Niemann. I am pleased. By the way, what kind of middle name is Moke? M-O-K-E.
I think he's a fucking moke.
Yeah. Quote, I am pleased that my lawsuit against Magnus Carlsen and Chess.com has been resolved in a mutually acceptable manner and that I am returning to Chess.com.
Hold on.
I am looking forward to competing against Magnus in chess rather than in court.
Okay. There's something wrong. You actually read this wrong because it's supposed to go,
I am pleased that my lawsuit against Magnus Carlsen and Chess.com has been resolved in a mutually acceptable manner. And I am returning to Chess.com.
Oh, boy.
I'm just kidding. He doesn't sound like that, but that's kind of what I imagine him sounding like.
He looks... He has the name and the look of a cartoon evil villain.
He does, and he also does things that are like indicative of that, because like last year... They interviewed him after there was a match that he played where like halfway through he did a move that was like not a logical, even for a grandmaster move or something, and it was only something they decided that like a supercomputer would have like had the foresight to. I'm kind of muddling the actual facts, but something along those lines, and they asked him about it after the match, and they're like. What was going through your head when you moved that bishop out of rank? Because logically it made no sense, but it actually helped reform the whole board to help you win ultimately. But you couldn't have seen that coming. And he goes, chess speaks for itself. And then he walked away.
Wow, that's like something a James Bond villain.
And he doesn't shake anybody's hand. You know, he spits in his hand when he shakes. He's like a little terrorist.
Yeah, he's an
so
evil.
Magnus Carlsen like retired because this guy. He goes, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to play chess.
Wow.
If this little twerp, this little incel is going to come here and cheat over the board and have a vibrator up his asshole, it's not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
What am I doing? What's the point?
Wow.
But I guess Hans Niemann tried to sue Magnus Carlsen and Chess.com and everybody of character defamation.
Yeah.
Which I kind of understand. People were accusing me of shoving shit up my asshole and cheating.
Well, yeah, Chess.com, Carlsen, and others such as prominent American grandmaster and streamer Hikaru Nakamura had publicly fingered Niemann as a suspected cheater, and I'm sure he liked that.
And as they were fingering Niemann, they noticed something.
They noticed something else up his ass.
Do you think they threw in the word fingered?
A rubber butt plug.
Do you think they threw in that word on purpose?
I think so, yeah. Because they also say Niemann and his lawyers from Ovid and Ovid, the law firm, had fought vigorously in an attempt to rebut those allegations. Now, this is why it took two people to write this.
I see what they're doing.
Yeah.
I see what they're doing here.
Now,
That's
both
amazing.
sides are attempting to move on with more questions than answers about what truly happened.
In his asshole.
Exactly. So, we wish him well.
Well, you know what, Trent? Something tells me this isn't going to be the last we see of old Hans Niemann.
I don't think so either.
Just like any Batman villain. He'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll be back. You know, a guy...
he always comes. They always come back.
Exactly. You know, a guy like Hans, and this is not an affront to his character, although It actually is. Guys like him may fall into this category, Trent, of people that need to pay a premium on dating apps to find dates. Now, that's really speaks to a larger story here, and this is from the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the headline here is apps put a higher price on love. Dating apps are testing the limits of how much users will pay in their quest for love. Mm-hmm. So Match Group, which owns a fleet of dating apps, recently added a plan to Hinge with a monthly rate around $50, up from its previous high of $35. Can you imagine paying half your internet bill?
$50 a month.
$50 a month, up from $35, and is examining user interest in a plan for Tinder nearing $500 a month.
Whoa, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, $500 a month. I mean, guys like Hans out there pay premium. You got all these tourney winnings.
Yeah,
you got to put them somewhere. Bumble is considering a tier above its current $60 a month plan, while gay dating app Grindr plans to widen its subscriptions with more premium offerings as well. Many dating apps are betting that users will pay up for a chance to never have to use their apps again. Isn't that a sick...
it's a sick...
You want out?
Pay up. Pay us. Give us your fucking life savings.
Yeah.
But this is... there's a... Match Group,
right?
They own all these. They own from what I gather here. They own Tinder, Bumble, Grindr, and Hinge.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Which seems, now I'm no expert, but that seems to be a monopoly.
But can one have a monopoly on love?
Well, apparently they're certainly trying.
Their main competitor is Guy at Bar. and they're taking the market share quickly. Yeah, their other competitors, woman on bench in park.
Yeah,
people at church. Now, executives at Match, which will roll out a super premium tier for Tinder users in the fall.
Super premium.
That's the $500. Said that converting a small pool of users to the premium tier can have a big payoff. Yeah, no shit. Quote, if you actually take a small fraction of our losers at high, it says our players at high price points, you can actually get a number that's in the tens of millions of dollars on an annual basis. That's CEO Bernard Kim said this month. So,
well, now does it say what the super premium tier gets you?
You know, it actually doesn't go into that, but my assumption is
obviously not important.
Yeah, exactly.
$500 a month.
Well, there's this other dating
kind
app.
Of a grab bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there's a dating app called The League. Are you familiar with that?
Well, I know the TV show The League.
So the dating app The League is for rich people, elitists and classists it's like a small, in fact, it might be like invite only kind of thing, but that costs $1,000 a month. And so I think they're looking at their model and trying to see if there's something like that they can do, because there's this class of rich people who also are alienated and don't know how to find other rich people.
If you have $1,000 a month to drop on a dating app and you can't just find a date in real life, you're a fucking piece of trash loser.
And that's what they tell them. That's what you actually have to. You actually have to
money and you can't get a date. What's wrong with
What's the point of money?
Yeah, exactly.
But you actually have to click a box and agree that says that, basically, in effect, when you sign up for it. Now, here's what they say, though. The stakes are high in showing users that paying is worth it. Otherwise, they could defect to competing platforms. Quote, they've actually got to really deliver on it because they'll get crucified if they don't. So basically, you're saying if you're going to charge people $500, you better get their...
You better find them the love of their
life.
life.
Little dick.
Yeah.
Sopping wet.
Yeah.
Or they're going to eat you alive.
Oh, yeah. They'll come down to the office and go on a fucking rampage.
So how do they do it? If you pay $500, how do they guarantee you're going to get laid? At that price point, you just buy an escort and send them to their house.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
Maybe that is what they're doing.
You have a date. And no matter what you message her, she goes, that's great. And then she comes over and fucking blows you. And they pay her $400, they pocket the other $100.
Yeah. That probably is what they're doing.
It might be, dude. I wouldn't be surprised.
The modern day pimp. Tinder.
Now, just a little bit more on this. This this at the very end, this guy hasn't been mentioned the entire thing. They go, Nicholas Sassoon said, who's, as far as I can tell, a random guy in the world.
Yeah.
Says he paid for Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge since first trying online dating in 2016. He estimates he spent close to $800 on dating apps during that period while landing only a handful of dates. Quote, from the amount of time I've spent on it, it hasn't paid off, said Sassoon. Still, the 29-year-old is sticking with them, citing convenience and difficulty meeting people in Los Angeles.
Oh, well, it is hard to meet people in Los Angeles, one of the most populated cities.
I like how they just stop in the middle of this article and just mention that a loser is having a hard time getting dates on their apps.
Wow.
They go, and one guy who pays a lot of money and still can't get dates is staying on the apps because he's such a desperate fuck. Isn't that a fun story?
Now I am on the dating apps. I don't pay for anything, but I have noticed that a few years ago, Hinge is especially bad at this. A few years ago, now we live in New York City, Joe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I don't think I'm telling any tales out of school.
Okay.
When there's a lot of attractive ladies here.
Oh, absolutely.
But a few years ago, I was on Hinge in Indiana.
Right.
I would see
There's three ladies.
There's three ladies, but I would see those three ladies, and they were attractive. I would see attractive people on Hinge in Indiana.
Right.
Now, years pass. I moved to New York. I re-download Hinge after a horrific breakup.
Which we won't get into right now, but on perhaps a Patreon episode.
So I re-download Hinge.
Yes.
You think New York? I see. I had Tinder, and it's all the most beautiful women you've ever seen in your life.
Right.
And then you get on Hinge. It's
Say
like
it's
mutants. There's mutants.
It's mutants.
Yeah.
You get nothing but X-Men?
You get nothing but mutants.
You're getting turtles and X-Men? Teenage Turtles?
Yeah, I'm getting fucking Juggernaut. And every girl on Hinge looks like Juggernaut.
You're getting Juggernaut and Splinter and
yeah.
Wow.
Now, I'm curious, but on Hinge, I don't know what it's called, but they have like a thing, a tab you can click on where they go, these are the girls you'll really like. And those are like the most beautiful. Those are like rogue.
Right. They know the hot girls and they hoard them. And then they put a paywall in front of them.
Yeah.
That's what they all do. And that's what this Match Group company does because they also own Tinder and Bumble and all of them are the same way.
That's what they all do. They bought all of them. And they have a monopoly now, and you're fucked unless you want to.
It's like they said, they're playing with fire here.
They are
if
playing
the competitor comes and says
Tinder.
we're not doing that model, with the paywall, and I see what you did. and they could all collapse because everyone's going to wake up and realize I'm paying $700 a day on Tinder to look at to finally see one hot girl.
Yeah, when I can go out to New York and drop $1,000 at the bar.
Yeah, dude, take that $1,000, go to a nightclub, and just start buying a girl a bunch of drinks.
Yeah,
and she will ask security to pull you away. You're right. You should do Tinder. It's rough out there. Yeah, no, that's funny. No, I had nothing but mutants on Hinge as well at one point. It started fine, and then they slowly started taking one hot girl out of my algorithm and putting her in a fucking basket behind a paywall at a time until there was nothing left. And then it was like an Etch-a-Sketch. I deleted my whole thing. I built a new page and it started over. I shook the whole thing up and they put everybody back there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I acted quick because I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I went on a date with Emily and I threw the whole phone in the lake and I have been seeing her for 4 months.
Well, maybe I'll have to look into getting a burner phone.
Yeah, exactly.
For my Tinder. Well, I'm glad that because that was my theory all along, is that they're fucking us, and they didn't used to fuck us. Tinder used to be kind of a free for all, much like everything else.
Tinder's impossible now.
Yeah,
there's like they're like you have 90 matches. And I'm like, then why?
And
I
then
can't.
then you pay for them and you unlock them, and it's all juggernauts.
Yeah. Oh shit.
There's a delivery.
Oh great. Well, we'll cut this part out. Gee, what's going on out there?
Well, that's my GLM.
Oh, you fucking piece of shit. Wow. Trent's gay little box. Trent gets every plate. Is that what it's called? Every plate? Friend of the show.
Every plate. Friend of the show. Welcome anytime. They may actually sponsor us.
They may have to.
They give away free stuff.
They're giving away everything. Every plate. This was not brought to you by them, but
in the future it could be.
One of their fucking boxes comes every week, and
they make delicious meals. You always say, "Oh, I can never do that," and then I'm cooking stuff, and you go, "Wow, that looks pretty good."
No, it is good, and I've done one, and they're great. It is funny being a single guy and having those boxes sent out because it's something about it seems like it's for families or couples or something.
It is. They send you. It's supposed to be for 2 people. But I really cannot stand going to the grocery store.
Yeah, well, I love the grocery store, but that's for a different podcast.
That's for a different podcast, a different time. But yeah, I support every plate. I support the workers there. However, some companies, they don't treat their workers.
Oh, is that so?
Too good.
Oh, I've never heard anything like this.
What I've read in this article that I'm about to.
From what you've gathered from being on the earth.
So the headline, this is from the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, okay.
You're not fired, but your job is gone.
Sure. Okay.
Workers are waking up to emails and team meeting requests with a jarring message. They aren't fired, but their jobs are gone.
Okay, I'm certain. I didn't understand what that meant at first, but yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's not that you're fired.
Yeah.
The marketing executive role doesn't exist anymore.
People on the receiving end of these memos describe running through a range of emotions, from relief to that they're still employed, to the sense of dread that their bosses secretly want them to leave.
Okay.
So
basically, they're just telling us people are getting fired, and that's always happened.
Well, they're not being fired. They're being
their jobs are going away.
Their jobs are gone.
It's like gaslighting people. It's like we're not breaking up,
but I am seeing other people,
and our relationship just doesn't exist anymore.
I will not be seeing you anymore. But we are not. We're still together.
I'm not breaking up with you. Our relationship is just not here.
Yeah. So but they're not. They're still working for the company. They're just being reassigned to different positions.
Oh, they're getting musical chairs.
A little bit musical chairs for companies that spent several years and significant money to hire top talent. Reassigning workers to new roles can be a way to fill jobs vital to future plans while trimming costs associated with old strategies, say human resources executives. Mm-hmm. It can also be a waiting game. Employees to whom it would be costly to pay severance or months of unemployment benefits might decide to leave on their own if they feel stuck in a job they don't want. So basically, it's kind of a way to just fuck you over and not pay you your benefits.
Because you take you out of that role.
So if they actually let you go, they have to pay you your severance package. But if they just reassign you to a different job,
so this is Office Space. This is the guy they put down in the basement and with the stapler.
Yeah,
and then they just take away his desk. Yeah, and they can't get rid of him. But we'll just put him. I'm praying for that to happen to me. For them to go just to airdrop me into a different meaningless part of the company.
Yeah.
Just to get lost in the corporate matrix. I'm just collecting a paycheck and I have no direct line of report. No one knows what I do.
Yeah.
I don't have a real job title.
Which I think happens way more often than we're led to believe.
That's amazing. But you would feel overbearing sense of worthlessness.
Yeah, but if you're still cashing those checks,
But if you don't have to do anything.
if you don't have to do anything, you
just get a different job and just keep collecting a paycheck.
yeah. So, so it's kind of a way, but also they could like lower your salary or whatever.
That's fine. If you don't have to do anything
If you
at
don't
all,
have to do anything, sure.
you're just getting free money.
Yeah. But Matt Conrad, a 34-year-old senior sales enablement specialist, a meaningless job, could do without. The world would go on just fine without a job like that. At IBM, went through 2 reassignments in 2 years before landing his current role last fall. In Conrad's first reassignment in 2021, a manager scheduled a call to notify him that his manager role was eliminated. He was given a new job selling software he had no experience with, a move he said took a toll on his mental health.
I love how the Wall Street Journal just always has an anecdote about a dork. They're like, this guy was such a loser about this story that he also
said he could no longer afford his $1,000 a month budget for Tinder Premium.
my mental health.
Later that year, however, Conrad found a new job at IBM that was better suited to his skill set. Then in January...
Sorry, what is his skill set? Because thus far, it seems to be a really elusive concept to me. I can't really tell what Connor's skill set would be.
He can't sell software.
He can't do anything.
He can't do anything.
They don't know what to do with him. They can't let him go?
They can't let him go because he costs too much money to fire him.
That's what happens when you're a big company, IBM. You go, God, damned if we do, damned if we don't. We're stuck with Connor forever now. If we can only figure out what his skills are.
He got reassigned, and then in January, that team was eliminated.
they were actually lined up against the wall and executed.
Yeah. And he was
Gulag style. It's easier to kill them than to pay them out, you see.
Yeah, they just pay the fine for killing somebody.
The fine for executing people is way easier to deal with than the severance, the benefits.
Oh, that's a massive headache.
Yeah.
So he was reassigned again. Then
how many is this?
I think this is the second one.
Okay.
The third time's the charm.
Yeah, well,
he asked the HR department to help him find his remote senior sales coach role. Another bullshit job.
Can you help me find my senior sales remote control?
Yeah, man, listen, we actually have to move you again.
Yeah. However, that process took 6 months to reassign him.
Yeah, I'm sure they were working diligently the whole 6 months on it.
Yeah, well, IBM didn't respond to requests for comment.
This is so funny. Oh, my God. They go, well, I didn't even know what you're talking about, dude. Who's Connor? What?
We don't... Is there a Connor that works here? Getting caught up in a reorganization can create anxiety for workers, but it's sometimes a genuine move on the company's part to avoid letting people go. However, other times, workers are purposely pushed into jobs management knows they will be miserable and prompting them to quit.
Your new job is you have to lick the floors.
But the good news is you still have a job with the company.
We'll never let you go. We'll always find a place for you here at IBM.
I know
forever, Connor.
Now, but here's the thing: if employees are suspicious about a reassignment,
is there a place to go to?
Well, they should ask their manager why it's happening.
Oh, you mean the first question that they asked? Oh, they should do that.
And what the reassignment means for their career path, said Naomi Sutherland, a global lead of talent development with Korn Ferry.
Just made up. Also, the career path, Who asks their manager about what it means for their career path?
Yeah.
Your manager be, I don't know. What is your career path? It's not my problem what it means for your...
Yeah, I thought I'd be working here.
Yeah, what do you mean?
So the answers could reveal whether a job transfer is personal. Most of the time, however, there is little legal recourse for workers if their company reassigns them employment lawyers. So you're fucked.
Sorry, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, it's really... Yeah, they can say, yeah, it is personal, but...
Also,
you just have to take it.
Also, cry me a river.
Bend over and take it.
Cry me a river, too. It's like quit or whatever. You're still getting paid.
You still get... Yeah, but if you quit, you don't get your precious severance package. However, if you stay there, you'll be miserable for the rest of your life. So yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's fascinating. Well, there's no good segue for this one, Trent, because this story here that I'm about to share is so unique, really, in my opinion. But I'm just going to jump right into it. This is from the Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
And the headline here is A Sperm Donor's Quest to See Kids. Man chases a role in the lives of the 96 children he fathered. Okay, so this guy, Dylan Stone Miller, took a 9,000-mile road trip this summer to see some of his 96 children. Emotionally, logistically, in all ways, it is complicated for the kids, their families, and for Stone Miller, a prolific 32-year-old sperm donor.
Jesus Christ.
This guy's my age.
He's got 96 kids?
96, but there's really no knowing. His road trip is part of a larger odyssey to figure out how he fits in the lives of the boys and girls he's fathered in absentia.
Spoiler alert, he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole thing.
Should stop you right there.
Yeah.
You just wait. You're in for a roller coaster.
This guy should be shot in the head.
Okay, it began 3 years ago when he first saw a photo of one of his biological children, a toddler named Harper, who had blue eyes and his sister's blonde curls. A little Aryan vibes here. He got tears and he recalled an unexpected feelings of kinship. So this guy got a little teary-eyed. Yeah. In between the union of in vitro fertilization, the internet, and low-cost DNA testing, together these disparate advances have made it possible to find biological fathers who in the past were largely anonymous, kept anonymous by sperm banks.
Yeah.
So only now is this really even possible.
Right.
He opened Bow's Instagram page and saw Harper's photo. Days later, he asked Bow's is the mother, if he could join the Facebook group of parents called, this is a Facebook group called Zytec 5186 Offspring.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Named after his sperm bank ID. This guy's got a closed Facebook group named about his spunk.
Wow. Now, is that a picture of him? Is this guy a handsome man?
That's him right there, yeah.
He's not that.
He's all right.
Fine.
He's fine. Yeah, he's not like
not 96.
Not 96 level,
Yeah.
but I mean, this is just they're not seeing really the pictures, or are they? I don't know how that works.
I believe now. I could be wrong, but I believe you do see the photograph because you want to know what the kid will.
Do you see the photograph,
like.
Or do they tell you he's 6'4"?
Maybe,
yeah.
I don't know.
Now, also, can you choose race? Is that weird?
Of his cock.
Yeah, they do show a picture of his cock, right?
Yeah,
his cock and his.
Because you don't want your kid to have a weird cock.
Yeah, exactly. So, and boy, these kids have some weird ones. Yeah, so she granted him permission. Well, what they did was they actually set up a different Facebook group for him and any of the parents who wanted to know who he is, because not all of them want this fucking guy around. So joining the Facebook group opened the door. Oh, wait, sorry. He gave permission for the sperm bank to reveal his identity to his biological children after they turn 18. Joining the Facebook group opened the door years early. Quote, I wanted to watch the children grow up.
This guy sucks.
This is from his mom. His mom says this, quote, I can see facets of Dylan in almost all of his children. She said, so many of them are blonde and blue-eyed the way he was. I can see the spark he always had. What? I think this is an Aryan.
Also, that sounds like he died.
It does sound like he died.
Well, he's jacked off so many times he's lost his spark.
Yeah, exactly.
He's lost his will to live.
Dude, this guy's jacked off so many times.
Yeah.
So many times. And here's when it started. When he was a college student. As a college student.
Yeah, he makes a little extra
Exactly.
cash.
Stone Miller said he donated sperm for the money, $100 a visit. This is my favorite line in the whole article. Looking back, he said, it was more than the cash that kept him at it for 6 years. Oh, is that right, you sick fuck? It was more than the money to go crank your fucking dirty cream in a tube and have it shoved up random people's fucking...
Wow.
You sick fuck. You know what? Looking back, it was more than the money.
Wow.
He had. So clearly, he started going for a couple $100 at a time.
Yeah.
He was a poor college student, and then he got hooked.
He got hooked.
He
goes, I need to spread my seed.
My seed.
So this is some anecdotes from his road trip, his 9,000-mile road trip.
Wow. He's got kids in all 50 states.
Oh, 100%. Before leaving on his trip, Stone Miller went to see Cal, his 6-year-old biological child who lives in a suburb in Atlanta. He had visited the boy earlier, 2 years earlier, and Cal told his two mothers. A lot of the parents
They're
are like
lesbians
or like single women or whatever.
Yeah.
Told his two moms that he wanted to spend time alone with Stone Miller. And the moms agreed to let Stone Miller drive Cal to a Target to buy some toys. I had some trepidation, quote, about sending Cal off in a car with Dylan, said Lindsay Harris, one of Cal's mothers. Quote, but I believe Dylan is who he says he is. He's proven that. It feels reassuring. I totally trust him. 2 days later, on May 26th, Stone Miller ate a pile of banana pancakes. I think they just added that in there to
humanize him?
Either humanize him or remind us that he's a man-child.
Yeah.
And at 9 a.m., he left Atlanta in a RAV4 packed with clothes for hot and cold weather, camping gear, Frisbees, and children's books, including Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Yeah, great. A classic.
He packs his van full of kids' books and goes, hey, where are you off to this summer? Well, I just packed up all these kids' books and Frisbees into my car. I'm going to go meet my 100 sperm bank kids scattered across the U.S. He quit his job for this, by the way.
Yeah, well, he packed winter and summer clothes.
He's gone for...
Insane.
He's gone for like most of the year. This is an anecdote about a different kid. During their time together, Mac is the name of this kid, got in the pool to show off his swimming. Quote, you're like a fish, Stone Miller told him. He pushed Mac on the backyard swing set. When Mac ran to the slide and climbed the ladder, Stone Miller called out a warning to Mac's mother about nearby plants. Is that poison oak? He asked. I don't want him to touch that if it's poison oak.
Fuck off.
Fuck off, dude.
You 34-year-old piece of shit.
Who do you think you are to just show up and go, I don't want Mac to touch that if it's poison?
You get no relationship with this.
Here's the thing. You don't get to donate your sperm into a sperm bank and fucking check out for a decade and then show up 10 years later and act like you're the fucking parent.
Yeah.
You're not a fucking parent.
Exactly.
You're not. Get the fuck out of these people's lives.
Yeah.
And he's making it complicated because, of course, a 5-year-old has a different purview of this.
Right.
And it's not a mature one. It's that of like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You know? So it's you know, so... sorry, I lost my place here. I just want to, because they mentioned this. I think we'll get into it down here. Here's one last story I'm gonna share from his road trip, from all the kids that this guy met.
Yeah, it's a year and a half long road trip.
Exactly. So this is Harper and Harlow, who are two of the kids. They had an older brother, Huxley, who died 3 days after his birth. To commemorate Huxley, his mothers got matching tattoos of Benedict the Bunny, a stuffed toy sitting atop the moon. Whatever. They got a cute matching tattoo to commemorate the boy. And then while Stone Miller was visiting, he and the other two girls had like washable tattoos of this. He took a photograph of the tattoo and asked the mothers whether they minded if he got a real one like theirs. Bowes said that was fine. Later that night, the moms talked it over. They discussed personal boundaries, what belonged to the family, what they felt comfortable sharing with Stone Miller. they have a role as parents, and he has a smaller role as a donor. Yeah, no shit.
He had no role at all.
No role. Huxley's memory was theirs, they decided.
Yeah.
Quote, it felt like he was pushing too much, Alicia Bowles said.
Yeah,
Quote,
100%.
Yeah, exactly. No one could understand the grief of losing your child. This felt like our personal space, something very close to our hearts. The next day, they sent him an Instagram message saying they weren't comfortable with him getting the tattoo. And he says, quote, I understand I did not go through the loss in the same way they did.
He didn't get through it at all.
At all. I didn't even know
This guy is a scumbag. He should be locked up.
This guy's a madman. This guy's a madman,
Oh my
dude.
god. There's gonna 2 years. There's gonna be a Netflix documentary about this guy. He's gonna be.
Oh, dude.
He's a sick fuck.
He's a sick fuck, dude.
What's his name?
His last name's Stone Miller, but I'm trying to...
Dylan Stone Miller. Not a friend of the show. Not welcome anytime.
Not welcome anytime. Here's a quote from the mom.
Okay.
From that mom who just said no.
Yeah.
Quote, we came on the scene when he was going through hard times. I don't know what that means. Being with children gave him a renewed sense of purpose, Bose said. As we get to know him more, we feel more comfortable, but my sense is he is going to feel more entitled, which can be problematic.
Oh, yeah.
We need to keep enough walls up to protect our girls and our family, but to make them permeable enough that he can come in.
Yeah. How about they keep up 4 walls and lock the door?
And completely
Lock the door and close the blinds. Never let this guy get near your fucking kids again, because you're gonna lose 2 more.
I wish I could remember, or I had, highlighted this area in here, but there is somewhere where he's basically saying to the effect, I don't know what my role is. He's like, sometimes I feel like a parent or whatever, but I'm not, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like insane that this guy is taking this license to even utter the word parent in the same breath.
Yeah, he's not a parent at all.
It's totally manipulative of the child's emotions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fucking clinical expert.
I don't think you have to be.
I don't think you have to be either.
To understand this one.
This guy's a fucking weirdo, dude.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. A sick
Also,
fuck.
even, I understand that it, like, yeah, if you were a younger man and you went to a sperm bank and then you kept doing it for like, maybe you're like, okay, I kind of have a lot of offspring out there.
Yeah.
A part of you would have like a curiosity about that and everything. But to quit your job and pack up a van full of kids' books and frisbees,
that's nuts.
That's nuts.
This guy's got some serious problems.
Yeah.
And I hope he gets the help he needs, or he gets locked up with either one.
Yeah.
But that reminded me, another story from my days at Roscoe's Tacos.
Oh, Roscoe's Tacos, friend of the show. Welcome anytime.
Yeah. We had a lesbian woman work there.
Now, is that the correct term?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Unless they changed it before they were recording this episode.
Wanted to make sure. Okay, proceed.
But she was a little odd. A lot of people working at Roscoe's Tacos were a bit off the wall.
Right. Okay. This is more of a Roscoe's thing rather than a sexual orientation thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But one day, now, Joe, we know each other, but I don't think it's untrue to say that I'm kind of a hard guy to get to know.
That is true, Trent. Yeah, you have some walls up sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah. Take a while for that ice to start melting.
Yeah. But so I was working with this, probably a couple of years. I worked with this girl, and one day she was married. She had a wife, and they asked if I wanted to be a sperm donor.
No,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
For their kid?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't. No hesitation. I go, not a chance.
Really? Why were you so sure? No, you didn't. It wasn't a thing you had to think about for a second.
Well, I'm not a sick fuck.
Well, there's a difference between a guy creating 100 kids, and obviously maybe you didn't know these people very well.
Yeah.
But
Even if they were my best friend, I wouldn't do it.
Really?
No.
Well, some people would.
Some people would, and
To do it
I think
one
they're
time
insane.
is not necessarily crazy. To donate sperm so somebody could have a baby, why is that insane?
Well, to someone you know.
You think it should be anonymous?
I think it should be anonymous.
That way you don't have a weird quasi role in their life. I agree.
I don't want to see.
Yeah, your kid growing up and stuff.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I'd rather be completely blissfully. They say ignorance is bliss.
Sure,
I've heard.
sure. I don't think it's crazy if there is someone's situation where part of me could understand if it was just you're helping two people that you love have a kid. I don't think I would. That'd be something I have to think about long and hard.
Yeah.
But this guy is a different level. You're spreading the seed far and wide.
Yeah.
And racing around. Anyway,
I told him to fuck off.
But Roscoe's Tacos, absolutely not, dude.
No.
Not a chance in hell.
No chance in hell. Because then what they have the kid, and then they'll bring it into the store, and I have to deal with that.
Yeah, you're right. No, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I don't want.
And also, it was mainly because they're lesbian.
I think if I have any kid, I don't want to see it ever. Whether that's by donation, or by the standard method.
Yeah.
I think it's best you never see him.
So, I have another story, but I think we may save that for a later date.
Okay.
But we have a visit from our old friends, Pepper and Salt.
Oh, Pepper and Salt.
Pepper and Salt. I'll hold it up to the camera so they can look at it first, and then I will read it aloud, and I'll describe it as well. So the setting is a home, and there's 3 men walking through the door, and what looks to be a lady, and the caption reads, "Said a couple more places. I got caught in the copy machine at work."
Well, this one is actually...
This one I understand, sure.
So that's kind of a breakthrough for Pepper and Salt.
That it's somewhat understandable. Now, Pepper and Salt, I've determined, somebody looked themselves in the mirror and said, what if we could make Dilbert somehow even unfunnier? It's like they fed AI Dilbert.
It is crazy that there's only one cartoon in this nationally syndicated newspaper.
Yeah, maybe one of the most popular newspapers in the world, the Wall Street Journal.
It is not known for its cartoons or its brevity, really, in any way. And they have chosen as its featured cartoon crudely drawn stick figures with a hard to penetrate non sequitur for every single.
Yeah.
This one I get. This is like something my aunt would have on the fridge. And be
yeah,
like, but
the phrase, the phrase caught in the copy machine, it's not a phrase. It's not like...
Oh, okay. Well, it may not be up to your joke writing standards. But I think it's pretty good.
Really? You like this one?
Compared to the other ones?
Compared to the other
best
ones,
one.
Oh, compared to those other ones, this is like the grade A material.
So if anyone knows or has a lead on who does Salt and Pepper, because none of them have a sign-off or an author. It just says the Wall Street Journal.
There is a signature here, but it's illegible, and I think I know the reason why.
I maybe see a J and an O in there.
Yeah.
But that might just be the artist. I think he just sends in drawings, and maybe they caption them.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
God. I think it's the same guy. Could you imagine sitting in the art and then the caption? You got to read the caption and go,
honey,
why do I do this to this?
She goes, honey, another one of your cartoons made the paper. And he goes, said a couple more places. I got caught in the copying machine at work. No, that wasn't it at all.
He goes to his drawer and gets.
It's about 3 brothers. Fuck.
God damn it. Bullshit.
God, Dave's most tortured cartoonist of all time. Wow.
So
That's nice.
yeah. So anyway, what a sad life this man leads. And
But I would love to have him on the show sometime and just kind of pick his brain.
I would love to, just to see what
Just
he's
to
like.
know. I mean, maybe he has sort of a wide lens, very, very philosophical view of the world. Maybe he's like a genius.
Maybe
it's so
he
bad
is
that
a
it's-
genius, and then we just don't get it. It's above our heads.
Right. Maybe this is like ironic. Like it's like
It's ironically bad.
yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like an artist, and the Wall Street Journal approached them, and this is his way of telling corporate America to get fucked.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
if that's
I
what
will
it
write
is.
the objectively worst cartoon
Yeah.
to put in and illustrate it.
If that's what it is, he's knocking it out of the park.
He's amazing. In fact, I would like to treat, instead of saying, this guy's an asshole, what an idiot.
Yeah.
I think for the sake of the way, the lens that we choose to look
Yeah.
at these should be that he is an artistic genius and that he's done it again.
You're right. I like that.
Yeah.
So,
Whatever his
this
name
guy,
is.
the author of Pepper and Salt, brilliant piece of work. Once again,
Brilliant. Cutting edge artist and really sticking it to the corporate man.
Yes, power to the people. Is what
Power
I
to the people.
say.
That's what we say together in perfect
In unison.
In unison.
And that's it.
Here at Echo Chamber on Echo Chamber
That's
Podcast.
the show.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Tune in.
I'm Trent Mabry signing off.
Okay. All right. I'm Joe Nunnink signing off as well. Yep. Catch us next time. Yeah,
Bye bye.